Hello, friends. Welcome to week 2 of the Circle Unbroken, Rooted in Soul, Responding in Our World. This week, we are taking the very challenging topic of responding in our world. And I have found over the years of service, I've been out of the monastery for 25 years now, 24 years, that a lot of my answer to that question, what do we do, is not very satisfying, because what's really desired when we want in earnest to know what to do is that we can turn to somebody that we trust, or somebody that we value what they think or what they might choose, and be able to ask for their direct advice. And usually the desire is that that advice would show itself by, go do that, don't do that. And I'm able to do that in certain situations when, as a group, we're making a decision. I can say, let's go that way, let's not go that way. But when it comes to this deep topic of how do each of us individually respond in our world from a place of alignment with our souls, it is an easy question and an imperative one, and it actually in many ways is a very simple answer. But the answer isn't so tactical. It requires the generous willingness to turn the question inward, to open up to a movement that we might call an insight or an awakening, and to act on that. Now, something that's smart to do is to surround yourself with people, places, and things, including doing this immersion, that get the water stirring in you, that help you develop the capacity to hear what is being called for. Responding is responding to something. So what we want to do is we want to hear what's really being called for. And when I was looking at this topic, they're all so great. I find myself just wanting to linger all day in them. I was reflecting on a couple of the phrases. First of all, if you look at the heading for this week, it says, this week guides us to integrate mystical awareness into action, relationship, and sacred service. And action and relationship, so action arises from within, it's a movement. Relationship is all the world that we're in. But not all action and relationship is sacred service. So sacred service is a key component to what we choose by way of action and relationship. And I found it was really a delightful sensation to read the reflection prompt. Where do I see myself in the world around me? On a soul level. This gets us again away from that identity. I belong here, I don't belong there. I've got this title, I don't have this title. Whatever it might be that offers you a certain position. On a soul level, if you let all of that go, how might you answer that question? Where do I see myself in the world around me? And then the second phrase, all the phrases are good, but the blessing words, the second sentence struck me. What moves through life moves through me. Are you willing to let that be so for you in a conscious way? I wonder if you could spend time with that and discover whether it's true. there are always lots of fears and divisions and concerns that are happening in our world. I've got a little beautiful dog here joining us for this. Hello, little one. Wants to be close. So there's always this sense of separation that's happening. If the very life of that is uncomfortable for you is in fact part of the larger life, could you come to terms with the fact that that life actually flows through you? You, your cells. You're not it, just like you're not the best experience of your life, but that this life flows through you. There are many individuals that are a model of what sacred service looks like. But I really thought that what would make sense would be to focus on one individual. I'm going to read a couple quotes from this individual and see if you can tell who it is. First quote, it's all the same person. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. Another quote, where there is love, there is life. Another quote, the weak can never forgive, only the strong can forgive. The future depends on what we do in the present. And last quote, live as if you were to die tomorrow. Learn as if you were to live forever. At 24 years old, fairly new as a lawyer, this individual committed his first act of civil disobedience, June 7th, 1893. I bet you know who this is now. I couldn't resist going to Gandhi. Whenever you think of responding in the world, whenever I think of responding in the world, he certainly is at the forefront. Because he's not only an embodiment of it, which we have many that are embodied in this sacred service, he was so eloquent. We have his words. Not everybody's given the gift of words, but we have his words. It was right within a 1-year contract that he had in South Africa. He was just there for a year. And he was forced through segregation laws to be oppressed when he was taking public transportation. He chose to disobey, to do satyagraha is what he called it, to disobey that law. When his contract was up, he decided to stay in South Africa to work, to help heal and oppose the injustices. The injustice done to him as an Indian and as a man. He says it was a real wake-up call in his own life. And he responded. He heard it and he responded, didn't he? He responded in what way? With his whole life. He responded with his whole heart, with his whole mind. And he focused himself on learning how to put into practice the very premises he believed. He doesn't seem to get caught up in a lot of compromise of self. He doesn't get caught up in the dialogues and the fights about this and that. He stays deep and simply rooted into the beliefs that he had. At least that's what we have from him, and that's what we're focusing on here. Who knows everything that was part of his path. So satyagraha, it is the practice of nonviolence, but it is not passive resistance, which he judged to really be weak. He saw satyagraha as a soul force, and he saw it as 5 different key components. First, that there is a moral imperative to disobey unjust laws. Second, that we must reject violence and seek truth. Third, that there is a law of suffering, and when we are untrue to ourselves and to our paths, suffering takes place. Fourth, we must accept consequences. And fifth, that it's all about transforming relationships. It's not about punishing people. It's not about killing them. It's not about doing away. It's about transforming relationships so that justice and peace can thrive. Now, you probably know his life better than me, but when he was there in South Africa, he gained a lot of notoriety. He started what was called the Natal Indian Congress. And in 1906, he started his first massive satyagraha. He was convinced that this was the way to change the world. In a gentle way, you can shake the world. Because it was relying upon a key component, soul force. Soul force. Yesterday we had the reflection that the boy in The Alchemist was able to change himself into the wind. Why? Because the same soul that was present in all creation and present in the wind, the consciousness that you could call soul of each thing, was present in him as well. And he then realized the power of this. So 7 years later, it took 7 years, so to 1913, he ended up negotiating a compromise that had a number of key elements in it. He then returned to India a year later, and there he devoted himself, and with his family perhaps, to a deep spirituality. However, he supported Britain in the wars, and however, Britain then in India instituted an obligatory draft of all Indian people. And in 1919, he formed his first mass satyagraha to protest the draft. Hundreds of thousands answered that call. They listened, they answered. He listened, he answered. Listened and answered. And he's attributed, right, after World War II, to be a key component leading to the independence of India in 1947. This really began years earlier, and what perhaps is most known is his war on salt, his salt protest in 1930. What had happened was there was so much oppression happening to Indians on every level, and a lot of his council and followers wanted him to focus upon the key oppressive laws. He decided to focus on salt because the Indians were not allowed. It was unlawful for them to mine their own salt in their own land. Britain gained control of that commodity, and it took away livelihood, but it also put Indians in a position where they needed to buy salt from the British regime. And then, of course, it could be charged anything because they needed salt in that kind of environment. So he decided to form a mass satyagraha opposing salt. And there's records of him walking through the country and getting to one location and finding salt. And interestingly, instead of Britain doing something more constructive, they ground some of the salt up to mix it in with the sand that was near the water so that technically he couldn't lay claim to the salt. But there they were wasting salt. Isn't that insane? Well, he ends up finding a nugget of salt and he ends up holding it up, saying, with this salt, we are free. Many thousands followed him, and he ended up being imprisoned. But even when he was imprisoned, others went on to other places to do the same nonviolent protests. And even in one of them, they were opposed, and British soldiers came and killed them, hitting them over the head and doing all sorts of terrible actions upon them. And they said in that one instance, nobody even lifted a hand. They so believed in the nonviolent protest. So, holding up salt, conquering the world, regaining freedom. This then 17 years later led to the independence. He listened and he responded, and that's what today is about. He saw himself as the fiber of life. He saw it. He esteemed all different religious traditions. He drew upon the wisdom that's in our very cells. He spoke to it all on a soul level. And then he could hear what he needed to hear to know what he was meant to do. And you need to take note of that because it also played upon his normal sensibility. So it used a normal instance of him being treated unjustly, that he decided to stand for injustice. But do you see with the depth of his spirituality, it wasn't just that he was hurt. It was that through the hurt, he saw the oppressive nature of injustice and wanted to stand for justice. We have the same opportunity. You never get with Gandhi, and maybe he did, but you never get him targeting people, villainizing people. He looks only at the wounds that are existing in the forms of laws and practices and addresses those. Why? Because it gives space for then the people involved to change, to transform. That's part of our call. It is so easy in the world, and I'm seeing it happen left and right in our own country, where there is, and this has happened for decades and longer, where fingers are pointed at individuals and not so focused upon the actual issue to be resolved. We have the opportunity, listening to this video, me and preparing it, to begin to listen and answer the call. You want to know how to serve sacred service? Come into the soul level. All life moves through me. Come into things on a soul level and then listen. Pay attention. Pay attention to the stirrings within you, to the responses, to the natural movements. Pay attention. And then choose accordingly. Augustine said, love God, then do what you will. It's a little bit of what we're speaking about here. There are all sorts of ways we could unpack that, because when we drop into when we drop into presence on a soul level, we can encounter all sorts of less helpful movements within ourselves. And that's a whole inquiry and more suited for individual sessions, to begin to unpack, what is this that's rising up within me? What is it? Is it coming from my soul? Is it not? It's not possible to give a cookie cutter to that, because we all have different layers of responses. So today, we're going to do a simple toning of 4 syllables. Sat Nam, I am. Sat Nam means it's focusing on truth as identity, and I am has lots of mystical references, doesn't it? The I am of the burning bush, the I am of consciousness. But we're going to open ourselves to be I am, be Sat Nam. Be I am, be Sat Nam. I invite you to close your eyes. And see if you can, in some way, open up to yourself as having a place in this world that is around you. You are. You are here. You are. May we open to hear. Who is in the water? Who is in the breeze? They're listening. I'm listening. I am in the flow of all around me. They are listening. I am listening. And we're going to begin with a call and response. So I'm going to tone, and then when I tone 2 syllables, you repeat in the same way. And I'll tone the next syllables and repeat. Next syllables and repeat. Next syllables and repeat. So it'll be 5 unique syllables, and then we'll repeat it numerous times. You'll know, and then at a certain point I'll go into verses. Sadnam, repeat. Sadnam, repeat. Sadnam, repeat. Sadnam, I am, repeat. Again. Sadnam, 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 I am. Again. Sadnam, 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 I am, I am. Again. Sadnam, 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 I am. And now together. Sadnam, 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 Sadnam.
I feel like what separates me from the rest is tasting.
Sadnam, 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 I am. Sadnam, 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 I am. Sadnam, Sadhana, I am. One more time. Sadhana, 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 I am. Move into the silence. Sadnam I am grace, Sadnam I am truth, Sadnam I am strength, Sadnam I am love. Together. Sadnam, 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 I am. Sadnam, 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 I am. Sadnam, 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 I am. We move into the silence. Sadnam, I am joy. Sadnam, I am light. Sadnam, I am one. Sadnam, I am grace. Together. Sadnam, 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 I am. 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 Bring your palms together in front of your heart and open your eyes with Namaste. Namaste. Have a great day. And just to note that really modified version of that song is by Snatam Kaur. And if you Google Satnam I Am, you will hear it. She sings it with, who is it that she sings it with? Japreet Kaur. So another Sufi she sings it with, and it's really delightful. Okay, have a great day.